Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. Um, I will give us our preamble so that those can find us going live, since I have gone live at the very last minute. Uh, Today, on this Friday, usually Future Friday, I like to talk about speculative fiction and give us a space here in the interwebs for us to talk about tabletop role playing in the science fiction region. But I am someone who is heavily influenced uh, by many things that I see in the interwebs. And when I am influenced, I like to share that information with the rest of you. And if I'm inspired, I think the rest of you can be inspired as well. And so, um, solo games, one page games, they are entrancing me at this point. And it's about game design. And I came across something known as Tricube Tales. It's been out for a number of years. And again, just because of our tabletop community, it's both small and large and disparate. So it can be difficult to find things if they don't come across your feed. And I like to share uh, great design and simplistic design, which I think isn't given enough credit for what it is. So, um, and this does involve science fiction. Uh, I am always streaming under the influence. Yeah. So here's yet another creator who's come up with something very simple, uh, very easy to digest, and a great way to, if you have got your own ideas, to be influenced by those ideas. So here we have Tricube Tales, and this is the micro edition. Now, the micro edition basically is one page. There is a book. Uh, this comes both in a print on demand, and if you I don't have access to this. I just have the PDF versions of it. But apparently, um, Tricube Tales comes in a hard, what was a one page format that is hard, um, um, paper, flexi sheets. So they're like one pager, wipeable flexi sheets, kind of. And I think that's kind of a cool thing to have them on printed out like that. So, Tricube Tales was created because of uh, a game designer that wanted to make a game for his kids, and it's funny how games for kids, in my opinion, tends to carve away and eliminate so much of the extraneous elements that us adults think is necessary for tabletop role playing games, that become completely unnecessary and are deleted from that, and which allows us adults to add in and be influenced by and to display our creativity where a child would creativity. Now, this game isn't specifically a child's game. So let's get into the, like, how do you play this game? It's real simple. It's real simple. We'll probably go over it a couple dozen times because it's real simple. So the word tricube comes from rolling 3d6, and you roll no more than 3 dice. And there are only two factors that come into play. You will either roll 1, 2, or 3d6 dice. So you will roll 1 die if you don't have an ability, you are severely limited, the character doesn't have the ability to do that thing, they are injured or they are held back or something. You will roll 2d6 if it is a common, medium, standard action, and you will roll 3d6 if you are um, especially attuned, prepared, skilled, endowed to do that thing. And so, under character creation, each player creates a character as follows: you choose a trait. There we go. You choose a trait. such as agile, brawny, or crafty, and you only get one of those 3 traits. And then you pick a concept. You pick something like warrior, rogue, detective, face, scholar, scout, whatever. You make it up. And then you select a quirk. And the quirk, again, could be anything: alert, quick, muscular, charming, superhuman ability, something like psychic powers or whatever, special device, like maybe like cybernetics or something. And then you can pick a quirk. Like a quirk is like a limitation, like stubborn, heroic, ruthless, cocky, ignorant. And then you basically grab tokens, and those tokens could be anything: coins, dice, gemstones, whatever. You get 3 karma tokens and 3 resolve tokens, and that's your character. Now, when you roll either 1, 2, or 3 of those dice, you don't add them up. You just want to pick the highest die, and the difficulty is either 4, 5, or 6. So it is 4 if it's easy. You need to roll a 5 or higher if it's standard action, and 6 if it's highly difficult. And that's the game. That's basically the game. The resolve tokens, you get 3 resolve. That's basically 3 strikes and you're out. And then you have 3 karma tokens. And if you don't meet a 4, 5, or a 6 when trying to achieve something, you can spend a karma token to add a +1 for each karma token that you spend. So that's the game. Now, the there's even like a little adventure part here, rolling a random adventure, and instead of having numbers, he's got the dice matrix on the side. I prefer numbers, but it doesn't bother me. It's just that, and I get it, because if you're rolling dice and someone is new to tabletop role playing games, you just match the number, the pips on the die to what's located in the matrix or tables beside it. But I just prefer numbers. I don't know. But yeah, that's the game. Now I'm going to show you a character sheet. Let's see. Let's share this out here. Let's see. Let me show you a character sheet. And let's go to let's go to the top of these character sheets here. Oh, there we go. And that's a character sheet. It's looks like I don't know, a cyborg armed cowboy gunman or something. He's agile cyborg gunslinger. He's got a perk with cybernetic arms, and his quirk is arrogant. That's it. That's the character. What's another one here? Agile starship pilot, lightning reflexes, loose cannon. That's the character. You can make these up in 30 seconds. We've got I don't know, draconian dragonborn type character, brawny draconian knight as an archetype. The perk is draconic heritage, and quirk is ruthless. We have ourselves an archetype of a brawny orc mercenary. Perk is blade master, quirk is greedy. That's this game. It's really cool. And so let's see if our things are coming up here. All right. So you would think, let me see if I can get the overlay with the comments. Come on, comments pop up. Yay. And my chat window came back. I don't know how I did it. this Luddite here, I don't know how I did it, but I was able to do it. So the crazy thing for this game that I like is that the designer knew that making a game that is generic, because technically it is completely generic, right? The way I described Tales, I'm trying to find all of the genres that this individual made, and let's see if I can get this list up here. And so he knew that if he made like a generic game system, a lot of us, tabletop role players, we kind of shrug our shoulders like, that no one's going to go for that, right? And so even taking his booklet that he just whittled down to this one page spread here, he knew that this wouldn't be everything. So there's character creation, like I told you, there's adapting to the setting, there's resolving challenges. If a player attempts something risky, they roll 1 to 3 six-sided dice and must equal or beat a difficulty of 4 to 6 on at least one die. Succeed on multiple dice for an exceptional success, narrate an additional benefit. Rolling 1 on all dice is a critical failure. Introduce a complication to the scene. And what I like about the roll 1 on all dice for a critical failure is sometimes one of the issues with dice pool systems rolling more than one die is that they'll go, oh well, if you roll the lowest die on any of them, you fail, or it's a critical failure. And it's like, wait a minute, I just picked up more dice because I'm a badass. Why would that mean that I increase my probability of having a critical failure? So no, instead, if you roll a 1 on all the dice, it's a critical failure. And if you succeed on multiple dice, it's you can do gradated successes, right? So if you pick up 3 dice and all 3 dice are successes, you can go, okay, not only did you succeed, you got a great success, and then you even got a galactic success or something. The GM picks a trait and assigns a difficulty of 4 to 6 for each challenge. Most should be difficulty 5. Combat challenges use effort tokens. Remove 1 effort token for each die that succeeds. And then players, an effort that basically means like, how difficult is it to do something? And you might say, well, defeating this bad guy is 3 effort. And so for each, it's basically hit points, but an effort and resolve doesn't need to be combat. It emulates every kind of conflict. So it could be emotional conflict. It could be a social dynamic. It could be exploration. All of those things. Players usually roll 2 dice, but roll 3 dice if the challenge matches their trait. If a challenge falls completely outside the scope of their concept, such as an ace pilot trying to pick a lock, they lose 1 die, and that's where you roll only one die. Karma and resolve. So each player has 3 karma and 3 resolve. Spend 1 karma after rolling to reduce the difficulty by 1. If you can justify how your perk helps you. Recover 1 karma if you increase the difficulty by 1 before rolling, narrating how your quirk hinders you. So karma, I apologize, karma reduces the difficulty. So I could say, all right, you got to roll a 5 or higher. And I'm going to spend a karma token and reduce that difficulty down to 4. Or you could even reduce a 4 down to 3, but probably not necessary too often. And then you can recover karma if you say, all right, you know what? Because my character is cowardly or greedy or arrogant or overconfident or something, I would like to increase the difficulty against me. And then you roll the dice, and then by doing that, you basically earn back a karma point. You make things difficult for yourself. And then it says, in addition, for dangerous actions such as combat, failure costs 1 resolve, or 2 on a critical failure. If a PC runs out of resolve, they are eliminated from the scene, but death is primarily a narrative conceit, and the PC usually returns later at full resolve. Again, designed for its kids. So is death on the table? Yes, if everybody agrees to it. Now, there's more pages to this. Talks about running the game and gives best practices in things like objectives, locations, complications, adding a twist to the story. Looks a little bit odd here, but if you take a look at this particular part at the bottom of the page, you will see that above these symbols are all the dice rolls from snake eyes, double ones, all the way up to double sixes. And there is a prompt with an image. And you can use that image as a storytelling element, basically like pulling it from a card from a deck of cards or tarot deck, or solo play, which he decided to make a solo play version of this as well, and it's just for inspiration. Like, so as it says, for further inspiration, roll 2 dice on the table below and use the symbol as an improvisational prompt. You don't need to interpret it literally. For example, snake eyes, two ones, double ones might indicate a conversation or discussion. An interview, a party, or a negotiation, while rolling a 3 and a 4 could refer to desire, temptation, deception, a trick or trap, innocence, or a literal snake or apple. And rolling a 6 and 2 might symbolize good luck, power, memory, patience, fertility, or simply a large creature. So where's the 6 and 2 here? 6 and 2. There it is. There's an elephant. Picture of an elephant. And you could go through these symbols, right? If you go from left to right, there's a conversation, fingerprint, looks like a fish hook, coins, stack of coins, treasure, forest or trees, a hand bleeding, a rat, crossed swords. Looks like a crescent moon inside of a badge. 2 hearts. There's some homes, a water faucet dripping water, uh, gears, a target, maybe a knotted rope, a snake around an apple, a key, a fork and knife, so on and so forth. It goes on and on and on. Here's a 16 scenario talking about creating scenarios, the approach, the entry, and which trait of a character would be best able to resolve that specific complication. So characters are tagged with either agile, brawny, or crafty, and then how is it you can go through that. It talks about the 6 scenes: exploration, showdown, the departure, and the conclusion. And this is basically everything you need for Tricube Tales. And to be honest with you, I've already told you the game. And listening to interviews with the designer was pretty cool. So you may say to yourself, well, generic system, I don't know if I want to even get involved in the generic system. So, and he was a designer and for wow, my brain just went out of my head. Designer for what's that game that uses it's got the exploration edition. Wow, I can't think of it. So he knew that people wouldn't really go for a generic system. So he wrote dozens upon dozens of 1-page genres to play this game and made it the ultimate pickup game to play any kind of genre. Especially, I love science fiction. So, because I'm going to show off some of those. So here are the micro settings, and each of these highlight in red on the screen here are the micro settings. So if you're looking for some scenario ideas to get started, check out these standalone micro settings. They are currently on. If I click one of these, they're currently on sale for 50 cents, I believe. The PDF is 50 cents. You get a premium 8x10 page for 78 cents and a PDF and a premium page for $1. Let's go back. So if we go here, we can and all of these in red are all of the different genres. And this is just a page upon page. And he admittedly says, I get bored with things real easy. And he's like, I didn't want to have to write something that would, 50,000 words. But he's like, a 1-pager. He's like, I can get a 1-pager done very quickly. And here's a visual image of a ton of these 1-pagers. And let's call up some 1-pagers. Let's show one off. Let's do Interstellar Laser Knights. How about that? So, Interstellar Laser Knights. This is a one pager. I'm going to increase the size of this way up here. All right. Boom, boom, boom. See if we got any comments here. All right. There we go. Interstellar Laser Knights. The Laser Knights are a religious order of guardians and protectors who use their psychic powers and laser swords to maintain peace throughout the galaxy. But these are challenging times, with greed and corruption spreading throughout the Republic. Powerful guilds vie with ruthless crime lords, while something even more dangerous lurks in the shadows, pulling the strings. For thousands of years, the Laser Knights have spread their influence, recruiting those with psychic powers and training them in the secret ways of the Order. Boy, this doesn't sound like anything. Those who strayed from the teachings were banished from the Order's ranks, while those who turned to the path of darkness were destroyed. You are noble Laser Knights who have vowed to protect the Republic, undertaking missions in service to the Order. With your deadly laser swords and powerful psychic abilities, few can stand against you, yet the lawbreakers are becoming ever more brazen in their efforts. How dare they? Come on. So we have character creation. Each player creates a character as follows. Choose a trait: agile, brawny, or crafty. We don't need to go into what that means. If you're a tabletop role player, select a concept: healer, diplomat, lore keeper, guardian, pilot, investigator, or seer. And then you pick a quirk: telekinesis, laser sword specialist, prophetic visions, telepathy, mind tricks. These are not the laser knights you're looking for. Athletic boost or preternatural awareness. And then you get to select a quirk: humble, aggressive, stubborn, compassionate, selfless, gallant, or cautious. And then you get your 3 karma tokens, 3 resolve tokens, and you're done. Make up a name and introduce yourself to the group. Hi, I'm Kijen Tobari, a crafty diplomat who is a laser sword specialist, but also humble. And it's basically this game. And then there are the rules reprinted. Basically everything you need is located on this one page. So, resolving challenges, you roll 1 to 3 dice. You have to beat a difficulty from 4 to 6. Most of that will fall right in the middle. There's even a mission table here to get yourself started. Roll on the following table to generate the latest mission. And see the next page for examples. Like the knights have been ordered to, and you roll a d6. Like rescue a dignitary, aid citizens in need, hunt down a fugitive, recover an artifact, etc. From somewhere on a volcanic planet, a water world, an inhabited asteroid, a jungle planet, a dangerous moon, a city planet, right? While dealing with a vicious crime lord, or maybe innocent bystanders, a hired assassin, a natural hazard, military tensions, ancient enemy. Very cool. Oh yeah, running the game. The GM should describe the opening scene, react to the player's decisions, and assign the traits and difficulties for challenges. The players should make all the roles, narrate the outcome of their actions, and drive the story forward whenever possible. They can spend 1 karma to influence the story or discover a clue through their perk at the GM's discretion. Note, Laser Knights can describe using various psychic powers for challenges, but they can only spend karma on powers related to their perk. And that's it. We got other things about, let's reduce the size of this down here. So something. And then there's best practices like objectives, things like, here are examples of objectives for the mission generator, like Space Princess, Protect the Innocent, Robot Raiders, Talisman of Truth, Conspiracy. In the middle section, we have destinations. Let's take the first one, Volcanic Hellscape. This unstable lava world is famous for its mineral wealth, and mining conglomerates have installed several automated facilities below the surface. And that's just to get you started, right? Like, let's go like, volcanic world, I don't know what's going to be here. And then very elevator pitch in my opinion, and I like it. It's distilling those 50,000 words down to something very simple. Complications. Gibber the slug. Slug like alien gangster. Doesn't sound like anything we haven't we know about. But anyway, Revenge of the Myth. Hilarious. And then there's like adding a twist to the story. I'm going to increase this really high level here so we can get to see some of these images down here. Sorry about if you're getting some physical discrepancies here. Actually, I'm gonna increase this even greater size. There we go. That's about the maximum it's letting me do it. There we go. So again, these are visual prompts. Roll the dice, add a visual prompt for a twist or inspiration, or the players make a left turn. Who? What is this? Is that a tennis ball with a hole in it and a chew mark on the side? That looks like a Death Star, right? Crossed laser swords, guns. Someone is taking the hill. Someone's standing on the hill or something, planting a flag, a bomb, a puppet maybe, or a robot. Someone falling into a pit. Looks like a map or a destination. There's a robotic arm. There's a conversation. What else do we have? Moving from left to right. Let's see. Someone being a prisoner, someone being abused or whipped. Could be. Someone captured in chains, a cloaked figure, maybe, or a mentor or an oracle. I think this is a starship or a robot. An open book, maybe, or an open book or artifact for ancient knowledge. Dead body, blood on the ground. Machine, someone being targeted, maybe an assassin, a mechanical heart, or maybe an android or an AI that is alive, an ancient evil being, a Darth blank, um, a satellite or a planet, and so on and so forth. Right? What is this? Is that I think it's a foot. I'm going to say this is a mechanical foot stepping down. Puzzle, microchip, missiles, maybe launch tubes or something. I don't know. A claw. We got pills, possibly. Someone sitting on a throne. Giant mechanized robot. This could be an explosion. This might be an automated weapon system walking around. Looks like a thunderstorm, electrical storm. Someone using spell or psychic power. Looks like a locked door. Giant laser beam, maybe orbital beam. Planet or moon getting shattered, and lastly, Gibber the slug. but anyway, really cool. So let's get into some science fiction things. And what really spawned me on this game in particular, and blending it with the science fiction thing, is that I think a lot of times when we science fiction isn't given its due in tabletop role playing, and I think a lot. Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we can get a little bit complicated, or we make things a little bit too complicated, because it can be hard to keep track of like the technology and the world building, and we feel like we have to accommodate so many different aspects of science fiction, and it's not necessary. Um, Really, for the most part, and for me, when it comes to these one pager rules like games, is once you carve away all the extraneous elements, really what you need are a bunch of people willing to play a game that are all there for the same reason. We're all here to influence the same goal. So if you're playing Interstellar Laser Knights, we are definitely not talking about hard science fiction. We're not talking about Cthulhian horror, or I don't know, uh, romantic comedies or something like that, right? We know just by the wording, where I'm talking about, this definitely isn't anything that's common. I'm being, of course, sarcastic because we know what this is. And yeah, especially hard science fiction with stuff that could actually happen. That's why we need Obsidian Star. Yeah. And I, hell, let me, you know what? Since I'm going to segue over into this, I guess I will segue. Um, we are definitely going to use this. Let me do a little search here if I can find it. Substrat, no, PDFs. Substrat. Mission control. Protocol spreads. Just turn this on. Bring this up. Yeah, I was I had been racking my brain about trying to figure out how to let's see, let's change this here, replace the screen share. There we go. And I've settled on this particular game here, Substratum Protocol. And yes, it is an OGL. This game is uh, applicable for the OGL, and I'm going to use this as the basis for Obsidian Star. This is going to be the framework uh, from the mechanisms of this game, and it uses our classic dice, D4 step dicing, right? D4, D6, D8, so on and so forth. Going to use those. Come on, it's very high res. Substratum Protocol, the game is about scientists trying to stop the a situation happening at the center of the Earth, and instead, I am reframing this as you are stars. You are a collection known as a constellation traveling through our own solar system, and delving into where the data cores are from. You guys know posthumanism, signal from beyond the Oort cloud, basically uh, overloads, kind of overloads and wipes out all the electrical systems, data sources in the entire solar system. Humanity comes back from it after rebooting, erasing, rebuilding itself, and then people find out that, wait a minute, those all those data cores that we hard drives and things like that we trash to get ourselves um, back into a LinkedIn community actually had some information on them, and so there are scavengers out there, uh, data core divers, people trying to find them and analyze that information, and that is going to be the main thrust of Obsidian Star. Now, there's going to be other things around it, like, for example, the question of the all the questions of the signal: who sent it, where did it come from, why was it sent, why did it overload every single uh, data uh, electrical system in the entire solar system, and what was that about? And that will be the big question of that's the singularity question that's going to override this. Like, is it alien? Has humanity ascended after they left our solar system? Is this an invitation from an intergalactic society inviting humanity out there? Is this the first salvo of a war to wipe out humanity? Is this so on and so forth? These questions. Is this the moment where humanity becomes useless and it's nothing but a world filled with AI and all that kind of business? Now, in Substratum Protocol, you know, trying to stop the anomaly from growing in the center of the Earth as it destroys the Earth, and your scientists out there to try to stop it. In this case, you are you're as players, you will decide what type of group are you. So uh, are you a constellation established that is a corporate interest, and all you are doing is trying to gather these data cores for the corporate overlords? Are you laser sword knights out there to make sure the data cores do not fall into the hands of the evil empire or whatever out there? Not that there's an evil empire, but are you literal scavengers living by the skin of your teeth, hoping to buy, sell, trade, and utilize those data cores? Are you scientists hoping to use it to usher in a new age for humanity? You know, is this a are you AI enthusiasts that want to re- free the AI or artificial general intelligences under the oppressive heel of humanity, keeping them enslaved, and the data cores are going to be a way for the AIs to free themselves? Or maybe you think that there's a way for humanity to ascend, and the data cores are a way for all of humanity to upload all of our brains and all of our desires and all of our thoughts, including AI and humanity mixed together, all as one, to create a technological godhead or something. All of that is going to be up for that's going to be up to the people playing the game. Why did it disappear? See, okay, I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm not seeing anything. And I don't know why it's not seeing anything. All right, stop the screen share, bring back the screen share. Okay. What the hell? So, Hannah says, I don't even want to talk about what I find on discarded hard drives. To be honest with you, the inspiration for the data core idea came from and I know you guys know about this, the person that originally purchased Bitcoin, and the person that originally purchased Bitcoin and lost it in a trash bin. What that really? I think they're what was the term that they used? Their significant other threw it out um, by their desire. Yeah, I made things awkward. Mm-mm-mm. I always do those things. All right, let's see. Come on. So, um, boom, 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 boom. By the way, Substratum Protocol call is made by Pandian Games, and it's kind of cool. What you need to play the game. Uh, this is a quick reference of the rules, and it's really simple. It uses dice and playing cards. I'm going to add in a thing where you can just roll, instead of using playing cards, you can roll dice. But the cycle of play is that you roll dice to overcome a challenge. That challenge can be anything: physical, social, mental, um, uh, combat, whatever, right? Figuring out puzzles, uncovering information and knowledge, or whatever. Doesn't matter. You're rolling dice. You will roll those dice against a difficulty. That difficulty are playing cards. In this game, uh, those playing cards aren't really given a name. Those playing cards are basically placed down in front of you by the MC, mission, what they call mission control. For Obsidian Star, we're going to call those cards science. So for a skill check, essentially what you're going to do is choose two skills and then draw two cards. You roll the skills dice, and the dice, like I said, the higher the die you have, the better you are at that skill. And you're going to pick two skills, and you're going to roll the dice against two cards. So you roll the skills dice and compare the sum to each card. If the sum is equal to or greater than the card, beat it and collect it. So you keep the card. The more cards you beat, the better the outcome. So you might beat you. So there's 3 outcomes. You roll the dice and you don't beat any cards. You roll the dice and you beat 1 card. You roll the dice and you beat 2 cards. And if you beat 1 or 2 cards, you get to keep 1 or 2 of those cards. Those cards that you keep are going to be called science. And then in this game, you can spend those cards to perform certain actions or abilities or heal or like recover and even do like what they call a flashback and things like that. You spend those cards. So the cycle is you're rolling dice to overcome challenges. Those challenges are the cards. You keep the cards. You spend the cards to then do abilities to help you overcome more challenges, and you keep that cycle going. That's the economy of this game. And so those cards you're going to expend as basically science. I was going to call it applied science, but basically it's science. So the cards, when you use them, it's like a what's a way to explain it? Um, the use of the cards and the keeping of those cards, uh, playing cards, we know playing cards have numbers and suits, and you can get pairs and things like that. And so, therefore, when you do those skill checks, you see this on the right side of, left side of the screen. And then on the right side of the screen, are things you can do with your cards. Now, in this game, they have something known as the exosuit, and the exosuit helps you like delve down into the deep reaches of the Earth to stop the anomaly from destroying the Earth. And there's all these abilities associated with your exosuit. Instead, for Obsidian Star, that exosuit is going to be your jacket, your body, whether it's a mechanical body or biological body. Your zip drive, your zipper has been zipped into your brain. So one part is your skills, and everything on this side of the board is going to be your mind. That's your mind. And then the right side is your body. That's all the stuff with your body. And so there's going to be tension between one side and the other. So someone who is in a combat, let's go real basic here, right? So you wake up as an actor in Altered Carbon in a biological body, given all of these like genetically modified um, combat implants and whatnot, and bonuses and nanotech or whatever. And so you're going to be using your skills. Using those skills, you're going to be trying to defeat those cards, and then that science on this right side, you're going to be able to use those. So we have like here, discard 2 cards, clear 1 stress, right? Or 3D printer, lay down cards versus the MC. In this game, the MC is the mission control. To create an item, each winning card makes it stronger. You can boost actions, discard 2 cards to add 1 to any scientist's roll, and it stacks. Flashback, lay down a card versus the MC. If you win, describe the flashback, gain advantage on the next roll, disadvantage if you lost, etc., etc. So playing cards, we know playing cards go from like, if ace is a 1, it goes from 1 to 10, and then jack, queen, king are 11, 12, and 13 respectively, and you keep those cards. So, for example, in the flashback action, if you lay down a card versus the mission control, if you win, describe the flashback. Well, if you've got a king, you've got a really high level of winning, right? You know, so whereas if you've got a 4, like a 4 of clubs or something like that, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll go back and forth. It sounds odd, and also the playing card thing doesn't. You don't actually need to use playing cards. Honestly, the way the numbers work in playing cards, they actually associate with dice. So you could actually roll a D10 and a D4 if you use a D10 from 0 to 9 instead of 1 to 10. So you could roll 0 to 9 on a D10, and then a D4 adds to that. So the lowest number you could rolling a D10 and a D4 is a 1, because you would have a 0 on a D10 and then a 1 on a D4, and that would be an ace. And then the high maximum number you would roll is 9 plus 4, which would be 13, which would be a king. Now, yes, if you're rolling 2 dice, you do get this probability matrix in the middle, but there's nothing wrong with that, and that could be a difficulty. I mean, that can be the medium difficulty of doing things. I know, a little complicated. You guys, city. Deadman says James Howells was the guy who lost a hard drive full of bitcoins worth more than several $billions. Yeah, and I think there's still even. I, um, I recently saw something where he's trying to get a class action suit against his county to allow him to go through the trash heap to find the hard drive because they were preventing him from finding the hard drive. And then he took out loans to hire people to go after the hard drive to split the proceeds with the city or something like that. It's really bizarre, but it really enchanted me there, Dead Man. And yeah. I think that's such a strange. I'm glad it didn't happen to me. And am I being creatively influenced by taking advantage of someone else's downfall? The answer to that is yes. So in my head, I was like, what if something like that happened to a ton of people? Like, could you imagine like old cell phones and like old hard drives, and you find out that what we didn't know is that there were, like, I don't know, technological radio signals that were invading all of those things, and we have to go and find them. I mean, can you imagine all the cells that were thrown away? To be honest, the words I ever find on discarded hard drives are family photos. And no, not like that. Did you have that? My brain didn't even go there to use. Crazy. Yeah, but I like it. Bitcoin is something you could keep on a hard drive. I thought it was some sort of in the cloud thing. Yeah. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Well, technically, it's not really I mean, they call it a currency. It's not really a currency. It's a investment. It's a digital investment. Um, what would you call that? It's like a share of a company but the company doesn't exist. It closer to that than people calling it a cryptocurrency. I mean, yes, people technically can buy and sell things with Bitcoin, but it's more like trading shares than it is actually expending money promissory notes. I guess a share, I guess it's the same thing, right? I don't know. It's a little complicated, but yeah. I'm imagining cryptocurrencies would probably be something in the future that would be useful. Anyway, page to the. So right now I'm just paging through. This is a 2-page spread of the Substratum book, and it's really cool. Talks about session planning. The game is designed so that you don't really need to do very much planning. It is it is very much a blades in the dark, fly by your seat kind of game, and there is a solo version of this game. And my reasoning for being inspired by solo gaming, first of all, is that solo games and the game solo gaming community tends to be one that really embraces inspiration, and I like things that give me inspiration. Second of all, solo gaming will allow me to show how the game cycle works on my own, by myself, live, with questions and comments and live interactions in real time. So instead of doing like an actual play with a bunch of other people, which I don't have a problem doing, but it can be difficult to do that and balance it doing it live with people asking questions. But if I'm on my own, sitting where I'm at, I can very easily go back, do a thing, explain, stop, go, all that kind of stuff, right? Um, and I don't have to get permission from anybody else. Right? This talks about session planning, travel montages, NPCs and creatures, otherworldly. Of course, there really won't be creatures per se, but there will be travel montages as people travel around the solar system instead of delving down into the Earth. And there will be many of NPCs. If you want to call artificial intelligences and robots and genetic creations and laboratory things getting out of control. Sure, there's going to be a lot of that. Otherworldly, the only otherworldly thing instead of like Lovecraftian horror, it's going to be more um, speculative science made real. So data cores are the physical embodiment of speculative science that we have today, like chaos theory, wormholes, black holes, antimatter, dark energy. There's some other stuff. Tachyons and gravitons and neutrinos and oh man, quantum entanglement and quantum theory and so on and so forth. All of that is going to be encompassed in these data cores. And the data cores themselves are basically like one shot, um, uh, oh, I don't want to call them game breakers. They're the equivalent in Dungeons and Dragons of finding an artifact. And now as players, like why are you doing it? Are you greedy little munchkins trying to get data cores so you can break the world and break the solar system? Yes, sure. Are you trying to lead humanity out of our own solar system because you know that life within our solar system is decadent and we are like eating ourselves from the inside out from the inside out? Sure. Are you law enforcers trying to keep the data cores out of the hands of the evil interlopers, and you're just trying to put them into Warehouse 13? All of that can be true and more. And yes, could you play this? Could you play Obsidian Star and absolutely positively rip the hell out of your own solar system? The answer is yes. Like, could someone open up a black hole within our own solar system, or open up a wormhole, or travel back in time, or I don't know, launch a rogue planet and slam it into Mars, or I don't know, send a relativistic titanium rod missile into Earth or something like? Yeah, all of that and more. All of that and more. In Substratum Protocol, this game that I'm paging through, there's something known as the last hypothesis. There is actually there's an end feature to the game that you solve the Earth from shattering as you discover what the anomaly is at the center of the Earth. In Obsidian Star, it is finding the data core, what its capability is, if it's been affecting, I guess you could say, our reality in any way, and then the story can then continue from there. For example, you could literally end the story by opening up a wormhole to Alpha Centauri, and that's it. It's like humanity now can leave Earth and we can ascend and blah blah blah, and the game's done. Or you could say that's chapter one. Now we're fighting over who has access to this wormhole, who's going to go through it first. Who are there saboteurs that are going to try to destroy the link uh, to this wormhole, and is there a military blockade over it? You guys have seen The Expanse, right? Yeah, it's all of that and more. So this is just a character creation section of it. It's real easy, and the same for Obsidian Stars. It's going to be real easy. Characters aren't necessarily going to be scientists, but you don't need to be combat oriented. Of course you would. uh, Just says, yeah, my friend who got some Bitcoin made it sound more like trading shares on the stock market. It's more like trading shares. I my mindset puts it there. It's ostensibly a currency, but why would you spend it if you're better off saving it? Well, and here's the issue, right? I think we're calling it a currency is the fact that while most currencies do not fluctuate with the um, with the chaos that Bitcoin does. So if I have $5 in my pocket today, tomorrow, and a month from now, I'm pretty much convinced that the object that I want to purchase in the supermarket that's less than $5 today will probably be around $5 in a month or two. In a year, maybe not. In 10 years, absolutely not. But currencies tend to be more stable because we want those currencies to be stable. Cryptocurrency isn't that. People want its value to go up, and therefore there's an issue with that. Those are saying that it's a conundrum as we really could use a centralized currency. People actually spend rather than hoard it. Exactly. Yeah. I'm not against cryptocurrencies. I'm against the way it's being utilized. And also there's a crypto. There's the side note of cryptocurrency is crypto information, where information can be digitally stored and shared without a centralized government or corporation hoarding that information, which I'm also a fan of. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, Sophie, um, my producer. Yes, I know. The hour's almost up. Um, Also, I apologize. Sophie is deaf, so she doesn't understand how loud she is. So, yeah, so come here. I'm gonna pick you up and put you on my lap. Come on. Yeah, girly girl. You can't get up there. It was originally to buy drugs and guns off the dark web and to hide money from your ex-wife. Yeah, yeah. Who says it isn't still being used for that and more? Yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, but okay, let's get to the important part. So character creation is real simple. Um, let's move down to right here. You have 6 skills: make, break, dash, evade, think, sway, and those are your 6 skills. Whenever you want to do something, you're going to pick 2 of those. So me as the game master, um, we're, we're going to come up with another name than game master. Admin is what I've got right now, but I don't know if that's going to be true. Um, you're going to pick 2 of those skills whenever you do something. And what I like about the picking 2 skills, and by the way, just a side note, if you look down below the skills, you're going to see you're going to see this little matrix here where it says assign a D10, D8, and D6 as the maximum dice of the 3 skills your scientist is good at. It's going to be your character. It's going to be good at. Other skills start at D4 maximum die. So what ends up happening is that let's say you are trying to make something. You're going to pick the skill make. I want to. Um, I'm in a I'm in a laboratory and I very quickly need to, or yeah, I'm in a laboratory or a factory or something, and there's like you find chemicals and gears and parts, and you say, "All right, I want to assemble some." Really, kitty? Really, kitty? All right, so I want to assemble something together. Well, instead of just rolling a make roll, like because it says here, trap, repair, build, instead of just rolling that, you're going to combine make with another skill that applies to that situation. So, me as a game master, I'm going to say, all right, you want to build something. That means you must use your make skill. And then you as the player goes, okay, then my choice is so game master gets a choice and the player gets a choice. So the player goes, okay, well then I'm going to and you're going to pick this I'm going to make and break, make and dash, make and evade, make and think, make and sway. So there are many situations where multiple combinations can happen. For example, um, I know I'm in a lab that's pristine. I don't care if I break something. I'm just want to make this thing. Rip. I'm gonna rip wires. I'm gonna use a hammer. I want to make and break, right? And then I might say, "All right, cool. You can do this, but just understand." If you're going to use break, that means you're going to pummel, wreck, and destroy the equipment around you. And the PC's like, I don't care. I'm ripping stuff out the wall to hope to attach this thing to that thing. I'm a MacGyver the shit out of this. You're like, okay. Or you're being hunted by robots. All right, that means the PC's like, all right, well, I need to get the hell out of here. So I'm going to use make and dash because I'm going to make this quick and get the hell out of here as fast as I can. And go, okay, that's a good idea. That means if you make the roll, you create your MacGuffin, your device, and get out of the room before the security robot team comes by. Or it might be make and evade. I want to make this, but I don't want anybody to know that I'm in the lab doing it. Or make and think. Hey, I'm a brilliant person. I'm gonna take the time necessary to make this thing and make sure it works properly, right? Or make and sway. I'm going to work with the scientific team to modify this device or chemical or something. Or I want to talk to the AI system, the emulating system, and help convince it to help me do this thing, even though I know it's gonna destroy its own system. But I need to sway, I need to charm, manipulate, or intimidate the computer system to get the self-destruct mechanism that I'm going to create or something like that. So I like that idea of taking two skills and mixing and matching them, because then what is it, six? Would it be 6 times 6? Maybe I'm wrong about that mathematical formula, but whatever the case might be, um, there are a number of combinations that can happen together to adjudicate an outcome, and I like that. Sophie is always welcome to make herself audible. Well, I'm sure she appreciates that. I'm giving her head rubbies right now because she likes to hit. She's into headbutts, and I'm appreciative of that. It isn't used for that anymore because the powers that be know all about that stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The problem is crypto goes up in value based on the number of people who own it. Yep, rather backed by any real resource or power. And that's the power of crypto, but that's the problem with it too. It's too dynamic. And despite the fact that it's making micro millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires, you really don't want crypto. You don't want a currency to move like that. Crypto investment, sure. Cryptocurrency, no. Imagine the guy who sold a 9mm Beretta pistol on the dark web in 2002 for 5K Bitcoin at 20 cents a coin, that he kept it today where Bitcoin is over $100,000 per coin. You're dark there, dead man. Yeah, that guy who bought a pizza with Bitcoin doesn't have to. Yeah, yeah. Wait a minute. I spent money. Why did I buy that? Why did I buy a firearm? I could have kept that. I could have kept the money and paid a hitman. Ooh, dark, dark. All right, so um, here we are. These are questions, personal questions, and world building questions. We're going to have that, but it's pretty easy. Uh, how to handle skill checks. Um, yeah, good. Basically, there's there. I liked mixed outcomes. You guys know yes, no, if and or but. That's me. Mixed outcome is either good, okay, or bad. Um, Greater than or equal to both cards is a good outcome. Greater than or equal to one card is okay, and less than both cards is a bad outcome. The Here we go. Sorry. Um, Whenever you use a skill in this game, there's an exhaustion mechanic. So, um, anyone who rolled, let's see here, hey kitty, um, if you are unable to equal or exceed a card, the highest die rolled is reduced by one step. So, an example is make and dash currently at D10 and D8 respectively are used in a skill check, and the result is make 5 dash 8. The dash die reduces from D8 to D6. If the roll was a tie, this is right above the little, there we go, on the right side. If the roll was a tie, such as make 5 dash 5, then the player can choose to drop dash to D6 or make down to D8. So when you roll your skills, they will reduce. And the concept behind that is stress, exhaustion, lack of resources, frustration, um, build the reduction of your skill is the building tension around you. So an example would be you are trying to sneak into a place, you're a ninja, and you're going to sneak into a corporate headquarters. Well, ostensibly, your skill is high and you'll sneak in, but the longer you stay there, i.e., the more skill checks you make, the greater chance you have of being caught. So your skill die starts moving down because there's building tension against you. And in order to alleviate that, those playing cards that you're going to get, those science cards you're going to get, you're going to use that to help you succeed and help you recover um, as your stats go down. They go down to D4, but they actually, once they go down to D4, they stabilize right there, because the death and dying mechanic there really isn't a death and dying mechanic. You're just basically out of the action. And like posthumanism, transhumanism, being out of the action, removing the death mechanic is not really a problem, because your body could have a big hole blasted through the skull, but your cortical stack probably still exists. Your zipper still exists. So a player character could reach into the gaping hole that is the charred, moist remains that remains of your skull, and grab it and put it in their back pocket, and then get you zipped into another jacket later on. Or maybe there's a backup of your memories back at the headquarters or your starship or something like that, and that's going to be part of it. Yes, you will start the game out with a starship crew of like 3 people and a starship. So maybe you have a backup jacket there, or et cetera, et cetera. Maybe instead of dying, your memories are lost, or you are in a VR world now, um, as the enemy captures you and uploads you into a VR prison or something like that, so on and so forth. So yeah, death is off the table, but it doesn't mean it's a good thing. Maybe dying is a whole lot better. So I think that's about it. I think that's about it. Again, this is a Substratum Protocol. Talks about alleviating stress, taking a deep breath. Basically, it's like a short rest, deep breath, taking a breather. Storage unit is are the equipment that you carry. You can, instead of using your skills, because your skills are definitely going to go down the more you use them. Instead, you can use equipment, which is like basically in your storage unit. In this game, instead, you're just going to have gear or assets. It won't necessarily have to be gear, but they will be assets instead. And you can use your assets so that you don't burn yourself out. You use an asset, and that asset could be a weapon. It could be a piece of equipment. It could be a computer program. It could be an ally, or a connection, or something like that. There are many different types of actions you can take, and not many. There's like 6 or 7. Like confront, convince, avoid, study, prepare. And you'll notice, like for example, in a confront action, you use your break plus another skill. So if you are like in a combat, you're confronting someone. Now, confronting someone doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but it could be. When you want to attack or stand your ground against something dangerous, and it's break plus skill. Now, yes, it sounds physical, but you could break someone else's resolve, right? Um, or you might even say it's a convincing action. It's a convince action that you want to take, and so it could be sway plus another skill. So you could use, yeah, I'm going to tell this dude that if you don't back off, I'm going to break his jaw. You could use sway plus break to convince that person of that thing. Whereas instead, it might be sway plus study, or whatever. So, yep, and the outcome. So a combat can be resolved with one confront skill check. A long protracted battle could be resolved with one skill check. I prefer a 3 strikes and you're out type of thing, but it doesn't have to be that way. But yeah, boom, boom, boom. And of course, there's travel. Of course, there's travel, and you guys know I love exploration, and in this game there is travel down into the depths of the deep Earth. It takes on average 26 days to travel between sectors. That's a lot of time. Guess what? Traveling through the solar system is a lot of time, so it really fits right well with that. You roll dash plus skill because you're physically delving into the Earth. Because you're space traveling, it doesn't necessarily need to be a dash action, but whatever. Dash plus another skill. But if you come out with some good or even okay uh, results, it actually benefits you. So if you're traveling, you easily, for this one, it says you easily find your way to the next sector. Each scientist clears 2 stress and reset all skills to their maximum die. This will be space travel. So when you find your way to the next planet, sector, habitat, whatever, each character, star, whatever, clears 2 stress and resets all skills to their maximum. Even if you get an okay result, it says here the path is difficult, but you make it. Each scientist clears 1 stress. A complication arises on arrival. Instead, you'll be traveling to different space sectors, habitats, moons, planets, orbits, things like that, starships, and linking up. And so even if you get an okay while you're in your travel, each character will clear 1 stress, or each star will clear 1 stress, and a complication will arise. So you get the point. And then these are, lastly, before we get out of here, this is the understand action. Once you have an anomaly clue, you must attempt to glean knowledge from it. This is a group skill known as anomaly, and you will collectively do the understanding of the anomalies. Now, this deals with a problem happening in the center of the Earth, but instead we're going to deal with data cores, like how do they work, what are they doing, what effect could it have if we press the big red, if we flip the little clear plastic knob and click and tap the clearly do not touch this red button, then are we going to, I don't know, disintegrate the entire universe, or send us reeling back in time 50,000 years, or bathe the entire place in gamma radiation, and entire sectors of space in gamma radiation, whatever. That's where the understanding part comes in. And so players will collect clues on their travels around the solar system to go after those data cores, and people will want to get those clues from you, and those clues are going to be valuable. If you really don't want to sell them, you want to keep them for yourself, but other people may want to follow you to get those clues. And so all of this action here is a group action. As you get more of the data cores. In the game, in this game, Substratum Protocol, you have an exosuit that has different features on it. All of this is going to be reskinned, reflavored, repurposed, with some little minor modifications as your jacket. So, for example, you might be in a plant. Your DNA may be mixed with a plant, and so that will be your body, your jacket. Whereas somebody else may be in a completely, I don't know, chromium alloy by a humanoid body with 4 arms or something like that. And then these are all the stats for that. And then this is about taking stress and the anomaly influence. instead of an anomaly influence, because this is a little bit Lovecraftian, as players delve down deep into the deep reaches of the earth to stop the core from, I don't know, exploding or getting sucked into another dimension, or Cthulhu rising, or whatever the hell's going on. Instead of that, this will deal with the data cores. The data cores may start to affect reality and things and the players. And also, um, with the loss of stress will come a loss of some of your assets and things. So less madness, more I don't have access to the thing. And this is the end game of this particular game, where you do the last hypothesis, and instead this is going to be the end of the chapter. And there's different hazards. How do you adjudicate different hazards as you delve down into the earth? This will be delving into space, and then here are the solo rules. And lastly, the solo rules are pretty simple. And lastly, I'm going to show the character, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Damn it, my brain. Team folio. There we go. This is the character sheet. Pretty simple. Personnel folio, specialty, stress, skills. That's it. And then there's notes. There's the second page if you need it. Notes, actions, echo suit systems. Instead of echo suit systems, it's just going to be your jacket. And then there's a team. So you're going to start out with a team that's going to handle your starship, and it's a good place to pick up extra characters, or deposit characters that aren't going to be part of the team, and notes and stats for them, and then all their stresses, storage unit, and casualty reports. They die off. And then this is a mission control folio for the game master, and place to write down all the names of the characters, track their stress, track the final hypothesis, which would in this thing would be analyzing the data cores. And instead of location sectors, these will just be a list of places around the solar system that you can travel to and where they've gone, which may be important for your game. And there's tracking like knowledge, the knowledge that they have, and who found it, the clue where it was located, the person that found the knowledge, and was it understood? Was there a successful check to understand what was going on? And then just reminders of the different types of actions you can take. Boom, boom, boom. There's not many of them. Confront, avoid, prepare, convince, travel, study, and understand are the different actions. And it's 2 skills. A specific skill like break, evade, make, sway, dash, think, and then another skill added to that based on the circumstances. So that's it. All right, guys, thank you very much. Let me go back to the character sheet. You know what? Let's do this. Substratum Protocol. The only reason I can even do that with my voice is because it's so early in the morning. Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, yeah, I know Substrat Network is a real thing. Yes. When doing a search for the RPG, that comes up far too often than a little bit. Yeah. See, and there's the issue. Okay, so let me share. Okay, let me do this. Um, so I'm sharing to you my screen, and if you take a look right up in here, you see up in here, that's the title that I uploaded. It says Tricube Tales, a 1-page, blah blah blah. That's what I uploaded. YouTube doesn't match it. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and Deadman says it matched up at the beginning of the stream. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah. Oh well. All right, let's stop that because it's going on into infinity, and we're going to do this. So anyway, if you'd like, check this game out or check out some of the people, the creator and the people who've played this game. It's pretty cool, and it's also on the in Creative Commons and the Orc license, so I can have use of it. And this is the going to be the basis, the foundation of Obsidian Star. I finally found it out, and I need to marry the fluff with the crunch, and we will be done. So, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much, there, member of the Shy Squad. I really appreciate that, guys. And everybody, have a great one. Hopefully, I can figure out why the hell the titles aren't matching up the way they should. But I'm a Luddite, so I don't know if it'll work or not. I don't know. So anyway, guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for being part of the show. We will take us out on Obsidian Star outro. No, it matches what you uploaded. You were just discussing, huh? Oh, no. I was just discussing it because the beginning in the beginning I was discussing this damn thing. Oh shit. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. No, it's because in the beginning we were going over this game here. Tricube Tales, a massive one-page game that has like dozens upon dozens of micro settings in it, and Tricube Tales is kind of cool. Oh, okay. Well, see, the thing is that was really happening the other day, and it was pissing me off. Yeah, it was pissing me off. No, we're Tricube Tales. Summary: Tricube Tales. It uses 1, 2, or 3d6. You roll 1, 2, or 3d6. 1d6 if you're weakened. 2 for average. 3 if you have an appropriate um, trait, and then you have to roll that against a fourth. One die has to meet or beat a difficulty of 4, 5, or 6. 4 if it's easy, 5 if it's medium, 6 if it's very difficult, and that's the game. That's basically the game. I'm sorry. You have 3 karma points and 3 resolve. 3 resolve are like your hit points, and so if you fail something, you can lose 1 resolve, like in combat, and you can spend a karma point to reduce the difficulty from 6 to 5, 5 to 4, 4 to 3, on a 1-to-1 basis. And a character sheet looks like this. Let's see. Let's make this super large. Cool image here. Superhero. That's your character sheet. Crafty inventor, high-tech power suit, vigilante. That's it. Let's go to this person here. Brawny orc mercenary, blade master, greedy. So you're like, oh, I want to jump across the cliff, right? Okay, well, do you have anything that matches jump? Do you have anything in your character that would give you a benefit to jumping over a cliff? Nope. Okay, then roll 2d6. I want to.
Okay, but first you'll have to unlock your device.
I hear you, phone. Okay, here's something else. I want to bend the bars. All right, well, because you're brawny, roll 3d6. You know, that kind of thing. I'm gonna fight the enemy with my sword. Oh, you have a perk with that? All right, roll 3d6. Beat a 4, 5, or 6 when your highest die. That's it. It's really cool games. Real simple, and there are a number of these one pager realms like Interstellar, Laser Knights, and so on and so forth. So guys, have a great one. I'll see you later. Peace. Going quite late this time, guys. I will see you bright and early Monday morning. Bye.